And the voice of the nation is
Dozens with coronavirus are to be taken off the aircraft carrier USS Roosevelt docked at Guam and then quarantined or hospitalized. But as Ivan Watson reports, there's still a pretty big problem left to solve.
The military have announced that they're sending 40 medical personnel from the Marines to Guam to help with this rather remarkable plan that is now starting to get underway, which is to try to evacuate the bulk of the sailors from this aircraft carrier and then try to disinfect it somehow.
We're also getting reports of the virus on the carrier USS Ronald Reagan. House Democrats already talking about the next bill to deal with the virus crisis, with President Trump and Speaker Pelosi both saying it's a good time for a major infrastructure push to get America back to work. But Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell is saying let's see how the current $2.2 trillion bill works first. 4,081 deaths this morning. I'm Michael Toscano. Today is April 1st, no fooling, and it's supposed to be Census Day, but as you might imagine, nobody will be knocking on your door today.
Some groups are concerned that the virus will give a distorted picture of where people are living on this Census Day. Some people have left their usual residences to move back in with parents or elderly relatives. They've escaped to vacation homes or had to move because they can't pay rent because they've lost their job during the pandemic. The spread of the virus has forced the Census Bureau to suspend field operations for a month from mid-March to mid-April. That's the time when many of the needed 500,000 temporary census takers would have been hired. Christopher Cruz, Washington.
The Census Bureau does urge you, however, to mail in that census form you should already have received or go online. The shaking ground in Idaho north of Boise last night was a 6.5 magnitude earthquake centered 73 miles from Meridian. No immediate reports of any injuries. I'm Michael Toscano.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Right now at DQ, you can get the delicious treats and craveable food you love at our drive-thru or for takeout, including the new DQ Chicken and Biscuits basket. Your favorite all-white meat chicken strips with 7 warm, buttery mini biscuits. And if that's not enough to satisfy, you also get fries and gravy. So dip and dunk your heart out. This might be our most dunkable basket yet.
Okay.
All available at the drive-thru or for takeout. So stop by today. DQ, happy tastes good.
Right now, staying connected is more important than ever. And a fast, reliable internet from Xfinity can help. We have plans to fit every budget, with speeds up to a gig. You can find the one that's right for you at Xfinity.com. And because your safety is our top priority, we'll ship you a self-install kit on us to make setting up your internet quick, safe, and easy. No tech visit required. And our simple digital tools will help you manage your account online or
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic
We're
check.
doing everything
Maze,
we can
Maze,
to help you
Maze
stay
drinks
close
coffee.
to the things that matter to you. So whether you need to check in on family, video chat with coworkers, or just take a minute
Microphone
to
check, 1 2. What is this?
No
Some
limits,
people say this is
safe,
serious
reliable
business.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At Xfinity, we're committed to keeping you connected.
You know I can't let Todd one up me.
Today at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed.
It's like
This is Mariloy Lightfoot. To prevent further spread of the
It's not a
COVID-19,
competition.
please remember to cover your mouth when
That's
you
how
cough,
you lose.
cover your nose when you sneeze,
My
wash
dad
your hands
said-
thoroughly and often,
Always.
and please,
You're
competing
you
against
must
your
stay
friends.
home if you're sick. And if you experience any symptoms like coughing, fever, or difficulty
I'm
breathing,
competing against
contact
the
your
world,
healthcare
man.
provider and stay home. If you are 60 or older or have
Actually, I
underlying
like
health
this
conditions,
little viewpoint.
including heart disease, asthma, diabetes,
This is
or
actually
lung
comes
disease,
out much
please
better.
take additional precautions
And I can
to
zoom.
safeguard
Yeah,
your
this
health.
actually.
Thank you and
Let me
stay
look
strong.
at this.
Chicagoans love their barbecue. One of the hometown favorites
Matter of fact,
is the Slab at 1918 East 71st Street near 71st and Jeffrey. It's all about the meat at Trice's Original Slab Barbecue. That's why the Slab marinates its rib in a secret rub for 48 hours before it hits.
You get them all at once.
The ribs are great. Check out the
Then
Slab's
you're good.
rib tips, barbecue chicken,
This
beef
one is
pork,
always
and
the
turkey
chicken.
links, turkey legs, and turkey
Then you
burgers.
got a
And when you
block.
come to the Slab, you can get more than their delicious slow-cooked meat. You can get a meal. The Slab offers delicious homemade sides like mac and cheese, candied yams, mixed greens, spaghetti, potato salad, and coleslaw. Voted number one on the South Side by the Chicago Tribune. Trice's Original Slab Barbecue is family-owned and operated in the heart of South Shore. Stop by 1918 East 71st Street near 71st and Jeffrey and pick up your Slab today.
The Slab opens daily at 11 a.m. for call-in orders, Uber Eats, Grubhub, or the Slab's own delivery service. Call 773-966-5018.
Whether you're a car guy or just a guy who uses a car or not a guy at all, you know the ear-piercing screech of a worn-out brake pad. But thanks to Napa, you don't need to know your way around a toolbox to get a quality part installed. Because while there are 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores, there are also more than 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers. So whether you do it yourself or have it done for you, all you need is Napa Know-How. Napa Know-How.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted Lenders. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
Split back for him, Larry. Pretty nice guy.
773-721-3333. With news and information coming to you from every direction, here's a team you can trust. It's the Commentators, WVON's exclusive group of thought leaders, sharing their perspectives on everything, from politics to business to community, from every angle and every side. It's Kimberly Agoin, Carl West, Abdul Hakim Shabazz, and Yolanda Joe. The Commentators, the most exclusive club in Chicago. Join them weekdays, 9:20, 5:20, and 11:55 p.m. They are why we're the talk of Chicago.
Wintrust is Chicago's bank. That's why they are partnering with one of Chicago's favorite radio stations on a special feature that's all about women. It's called Her Wintrust, a weekly financial program heard exclusively on the Perry Small Show. Listen Fridays at 11:30 a.m. as they talk women and finances. Her Wintrust, Fridays at 11:30 a.m. on the Perry Small Show. It's an exclusive feature of Wintrust. They are Chicago's bank.
Hello, Chicagoland. This is your main man, T.O., Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman. I'm inviting all of my friends, associates, and colleagues to tune in to WVON, the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. for the T.O., Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman Show. This show will cover all the hottest topics, including politics, reducing gun violence, and so much more, right here every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 a.m. WVON. Thank you.
This traffic report is brought to you by Lowe's. Do it right to save 5% every day by shopping at Lowe's, in-store or online. Save 5% on eligible purchases just by using your Lowe's Advantage card. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.
WVON, traffic and weather, now.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 1st. No problems right now on the Dan Ryan, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, Bishop Ford, or the Stevenson. If you're traveling on the Eisenhower, expect a 28-minute ride in both directions. The Kennedy, 20 minutes both ways. Lakeshore Drive northbound and southbound.
Sonia.
No problems right now.
Go this way. I just want to.
35 degrees.
Okay.
Chilly and cloudy today with some afternoon sun. Tonight down to 36. That's traffic and weather. I'm Jennifer Thompson. It's 6:09 and 1690 a.m. WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
Todd, could you
let them know? Reach out. Log on to my2020census.gov and complete your census questionnaire.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON. You're You're listening to The Morning Show with Maze Jackson on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Rise and shine. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show. 773-591-1690. Wake up!
War and poverty. That's dead center. That's dead center. They're the ones who's coming up. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, man, feeling great.
Todd, you're feeling great. You came in. You know what, man? Mm-hmm. First of all, last week you was coming in here touching everything, picking up everybody's stuff. Now all of a sudden you come up in here, you got a hazmat sweatshirt on, and you got your rubber gloves on. Todd, what is going on? Do you know something that I don't?
No, not at all. I've had these gloves for probably about 5 days. I just keep on forgetting them.
You know what, Todd? It's people like you that make me feel so safe in the world.
But I do wash my hands.
You do wash your hands? You know what? Okay, all right. I'm gonna catch. You know what? I've been shaming people in the bathroom. It's still people not washing their hands. I was like, hey, bro, you missed the soap. It's like, why go into the bathroom and fake it?
Sometimes I just go in the bathroom just to wash my hands. When I leave here, I just may go through there just to wash my hands.
I just think people like go in and fake it. It's like I be watching some of these workers around here. I be like, homie. And you know, that's all right, Todd. It's one of these days. You know they don't believe fat meat is greasy. It's the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That guy I was talking to in the background was my co-host, Todd Stroger. But hey, let's say what's up to the rest of the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Miss Jennifer Thompson in the newsroom? Jennifer, how are you feeling this morning?
I am feeling blessed. All is well over here.
There it is. Miss Jennifer Thompson in the newsroom. Gotta say what's up to the musical conductor of the Soul Plane, Miss Sonia Escobar. Sonia, how you feeling this morning?
Good morning. I'm feeling great.
You're feeling great? All right. Well, it looks like we are locked and loaded. So let's do this. Let's get this thing up and away. We are off. It is the WVON Morning Show Soul Plane taking off, looking down. Hey, Todd, it is April Fool's Day today. And can I tell you something? It's like we done had so much reality, I don't even want to try no April Fool's jokes today.
Yeah, right.
Remember, like, it would be April Fool's and you'd be like, I'm going to be the... You know what? I was saying, you know what? Here's my April Fool's joke. Governor Pritzker came out yesterday and announced that the lockdown will continue till the end of this month. That ain't no April Fool's joke. I ain't fooling Lordy B. Todd. I'm going to tell you that this lockdown, and you know what, and I think I get a little reprieve because I come out to come do the morning show.
Exactly. But I'm the only person in the household who actually
gets to leave
every day.
So do you don't let the kids just go run around the front yard? They're like,
yeah, you do?
Huh?
Yours do?
No, my son asked me that last week, though. He was like, Dad, can I just go out in the front? Or can I just go out and dribble the basketball? You certainly can, son. Yeah, you certainly can. Yeah. I think I'm going to go buy a hoop so I can figure out, and I'm just going to have to drag it out into the alley every day. Since nobody's driving, just buy him a hoop, drag it out to the alley, and let him just go shoot hoops all day. You think he'll get in trouble?
Yeah.
Dang, Todd, you take all the fun.
I think somebody can call the police. There's a hoop in my alley.
There's a hoop in my alley, and it's a young black man. You know what?
He doesn't look like he lives from here.
You know what that's that. Well, shoot, no, he still does just a little bit. It's funny though, because do you remember in Purple Rain when she says, "You never let me have any fun." That's exactly how you made me feel when you said that. All right, y'all. So it is, the lockdown is continuing until the end of the month, guys. All the more reason, in my estimation, that I'm starting to agree with Governor Rob Gorbich, who came on yesterday and said that we should have a 90-day rent mortgage freeze. My
wife has. She says that sounds pretty good, but she doesn't think it really means much unless there is a
federal.
No, you don't pay any interest.
Well, I think they should do. I mean, they've already waived all the interest payments and stuff. They've done all of that in other states. I just think that it would be great, like, because today ain't no fooling, the rent is due.
That's right.
And the rent is too damn high. It is just too damn high. All right, how about shout out? You know what? I love what the city is doing. I love all the resources that people are throwing to the forefront. How about shout out to the Essex Hotel for providing food, room and shelter for workers, frontline workers, and essential workers. Todd, I feel like one of these days I might need one of those rooms. If you don't keep spraying and stuff, I might have to get a room because I don't want you'd be thinking like the frontline workers. So it really is a good point though. They're saying like people don't want to bring anything home to their families.
I totally understand that.
So shout out to that. And you know what? One of my clients is wanting to donate some rooms in some places too. I'm gonna try and see if I can get them in the mix. Did you see? Shout out to State Senator L.G. Sims and Greg Harris, the guy who ascended to leadership, even though black folks provide the most votes for the Democratic Party. But that's a whole nother story.
Well, you know how that works.
Right.
The speaker says, well, there was a couple of choices, and I just picked the guy I wanted there. That's how it works with me.
Right. So he was like, let me get because the LGBTQ community is, let me stop. That's not even my point.
They got real money.
That's not my point. My point is they both, LG Sims and Greg Harris, both in the legislature, said corruption has to take a back seat to coronavirus. I know they're like, damn. And by the way, I know it's a lot of people like, phew. But check this out. I want to make sure that you all heard this little headline that slipped by that nobody talked about. Did you all see in the paper yesterday? I meant to bring this up 2 days ago that they were talking about Omar Manny. If you listen to the Illinois Minati podcast, remember how I told you about? Remember how Safe Speed was Safe Speed, everything? They were the corrupt company and blah 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 because there was a federal mole in their company.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did you see the story in the paper where it said this really isn't about the red light cameras being corrupt? It really is about Omar Manny and his land deals. Now, if you paid attention to the Illinois Minati podcast, you would have known that. But hey, y'all, it's a Talk of Chicago. See how they do? So the black woman been splashed all over the paper. Then they be like, oh, but it's about this over here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have time for me to say, yeah, and black people are jumping all over.
We're going to talk about it some more. It's Talk of Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
More of The Morning Show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago 1690 WVON.
That's why Sonya be coming in here dressed every day.
Yeah, I noticed.
I be like, Sonya, what are you doing? She like, this is the only time I get to go out. So This is what I'm doing. All right, y'all, take a moment to share the broadcast. Y'all ain't rocking with us this morning. What's going on? Wake your butt up. I know y'all getting used to being lazy. Wake it up. Wake it up, wake it up, wake it up. Oh, I forgot. This isn't wake up radio. Oh. Y'all know I'm petty, right? So once you give me a reason to be petty.
There are times to be petty.
Yeah, you know what you give me.
What's it, times to all seasons or something like that? Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying I just think how many times I just don't say nothing. And that really irritated me. Can I tell you that? That irritated me. Because, you sitting in your bed, you're trying to pay. I said I was going to go in my room. I was going to start a whole conversation in the lion's den and pick apart everything. And then I said, I thought better of it. So I said, never mind. And then just as I'm wafting off to sleep, I hear the booty butt naked radio comment. And I must tell you that I sat up and I was tremendously offended.
I'm not even sure what that meant.
Because I used to do yoga every morning. Let me see your booty do the yoga, right? And so for the haters, that used to be like one of their things. As much as, can I tell you what though, the reason I really did it, and I'm gonna probably bring it back once in a while, is because I had so many people who had senior homes who said that when it was the time that their seniors all got active, they would all be in the activity room watching or listening to the morning show, and once they showed them how to do it, they would all, like, somebody would put it on their thing in the whole activity room, and you would be surprised at how many places. I got videos of seniors who, like, on their canes, get off their canes and be like, that's my fun, like, would tell Carrie she would be on the campaign trail, and they would be like, I love when he do, Maze, let me see you do the yoga, right?
I can see that.
And so
but you know, Maze, black people are different from white people. I would be on shows and I'd be like, you know, this person said this, and they would be a media person. I said, but it wasn't true. And they would say, I can't say anything about that because she's a media person like me. Black folks be like, yeah, let's beat the hell out of them.
Right. I mean, I think it's funny, like, even with the safe speed thing, like, and I just want to point out that if you pay attention to Illinois Minotti, I told you this, and I showed you the person, and I told you how it all happened. I did this months ago. It's not my first. It's my fourth. Right? No, third. I'm sorry. Third. Baby. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, Todd. So I do want to go back to the whole thing. It's one of the reasons you all should be watching the Illinois Minotti podcast, and if not watching it, listening to it. Because I told you, remember all the scandal about Safe Speed and about the bribes and all the federal investigations, and people were saying, I knew it was, and it was the black people leading the charge. Remember I told you about?
Yes, and I know it was black people because, you know, after listening to you, I'd say on Facebook, well, you know, I think we're going to find that it's more about him than her. And people were just like, nah, well, she should have known he was, you supposed to
know that the feds have a mole. Like, y'all watch these same people be watching, talk about how great Ozark is, and then want to talk about they no fit. But I just want to point this out, and I need to do this because, you know, I feel like Nikki came on our show and told everybody what was happening, and it was like, the whole point was to be able to say, I got some refuge with black folks, even when these white folks go after me. And it was funny because it was like black folks be like, I told you about bringing wood to the lynching and bringing a rope to white folks lynching. And now here we find out in the paper, they got a whole spread. The white boys lined up. They all kicking it. Y'all done kicked the sister to the curb. Black legislators trying to jump on and pile on. Like, I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, I told y'all. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, don't. Let's not hurt our own people first. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. All right, Todd. You know what? Okay, hold on. Let me run through this. Mask or not to wear a mask? That is the question. We're getting advisories from some people. You know I'm about tired of these. Well, let me stop. I'm not going to say I'm tired of the mixed messages because I remember when I was wearing a mask. Remember I told you I went to Sundance?
Yeah.
I had a mask on. Me and all the Chinese people had on masks.
Right, you and the rest of your country.
Right. Then I had on my mask and people was calling me racist and all type of stuff. She wanted to wear one, but she was nervous, so she wrote on hers, "It's not you, it's me." She wrote it on that thing because she felt like she needed to explain. Now we get in a big fight. The Chinese people where the origin of the disease are saying we wear masks. We're saying we don't know what to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Healthcare is healthcare. I'm a healthcare.
How can a decrease? How can it hurt you? As a matter of fact, I brought a mask. Well, actually, I brought a bandana, as per the presidential advisory. So I may use that a little bit later on, if you start getting too close. All right.
Hey, what are you trying to say? Well, anyway, go ahead.
How about this one? This one slipped by too. Mexico closed its border to the United States. I have a lot of jokes there, but I'm going to let that be because I'm sure there are bleeding heart liberals who will be crying somewhere in their beer. But Todd, speaking of bleeding heart liberals, can I just mention something that happened yesterday to me?
I'd like to hear.
Okay, well, I feel like right now because everybody's home and they're on Facebook, they are having these conversations. And, sometimes I'm privy to the white conversations, having grown up in Bolingbrook. There is a plethora of white folks who have gone away and, become, the white liberals that I talk about, right? And they be like, and they credit their time in Bolingbrook for making them enlightened and blah, 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 blah. So yesterday, I just happened to mind someone else's business. I scroll through people's Facebook conversations, but I don't read them. I mean, I read them, but I don't really comment that much. But I just happened to be scrolling through one because when you see something that has 50 replies to it, you're like, there's something good in it.
Something's happening there.
Something's happening, and it's like 50 replies inside of one response. And so my friend, these are people most of these are people I grew up with. One person who I didn't grow up was in the conversation, and she used the word niggling, right?
I heard that word.
Okay, well, the word niggling, when you look up in the dictionary, it means it's to annoy, to bother. It's something that just, niggling, right? But obviously, as I'm scrolling through the 50 comments and the word niggling is there, I am like, hold it. Like, I don't see any other words except niggling, right? And so I'm like, because they're having an argument, and the word niggling is being used by a liberal white Democrat, and they're arguing with a Trump supporter who is telling them, they're just going back and forth. And I'm just like, by the way, I'm not really tripping, but I see you all have used the word niggling in this conversation. And just as a black person, I just would say I took offense to that. Now, when I think of niggling, I think of people telling jokes about little black kids being nigglings running around. But then they
I know. Well, I've never heard.
It's a joke I've heard, right? It's like a joke. So that's what. But I know that also there's a definition of it, and you go to the, and you go into the comments and you look at the definition, right? So immediately all these white liberals drop their argument with the Trump supporter to come and correct me. These are all white people to correct me on why I should not be offended by their use of the word niggling, right? And they all give me the definitions, blah, 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 blah. And I basically say, because, and then they're being all intellectual, etc. Yeah. So I just have to break it down and I say, so you all are proud because you've conjugated the word, hit the button, right? So I feel like it's ERING, right? It's a conjugation of the word. And the white liberals who have defended the use after I checked them on it, Todd, they say, I see how you could be offended by that. Let's just put all that aside and let's just go back to bashing Trump. I'm more comfortable over there. And I was like, so after you've agreed that you've conjugated the word, right? Now, and I've checked you on it as a black person, you say, let's just kick that to the curb and let's just get back to getting with Trump. And I was like, so you do understand that for me, as I'm watching both of you all argue, right? I know the Trump supporter somewhere has probably called me the N-word, right? But here's the liberal blue guy that I'm supposed to also be on the team with. And they're using a conjugated version of it. And it's like, it was the epitome of what I feel like we always talk about. White liberals who think that they're on our team, right? But then they be the same people calling you a nick a little bit in the same breath, trying to justify it. It was crazy, man.
I try to stay out of those fights.
It really wasn't even a fight. I was just trying to point out to their white liberalism, like, while you all are screaming about the Trump thing and you're saying how racist and xenophobic and all these things that he is, as I, the black person who you're probably referring to in a lot of your conversations in your benevolent way, your matriarchal, patriarchal way, am taking offense to you, as you have called us, as you have been, this has niggling you, right? And I was like, you couldn't just say it annoyed you? It's like, you know how somebody trying to slide the word in efficiently, professionally? I was like, it's like niggardly.
I guess for me, and I think I've had this discussion before, you know, there are certain things I'm not going to argue about. Anything in the dictionary, I'm not arguing about. I just think that's kind of elitist where I'm going to use this word that nobody in the world ever knew.
Just so I can get as close to. So the only difference between that is the ing or the er. Look, we'll talk about it all. But white liberals, Trump, like I told him before I said anything, I'm not going to argue over which white guy is racist. It's the Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
It's 36 degrees at 6:30.
Y'all take a moment to share the broadcast.
Thompson,
Can everybody
and here's
see?
what's happening.
Todd, you look a little darker over there.
Attacked by a
We might have to
passenger
get you
just
some.
after 11:30 last night in the 9400 block of South Ash.
All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast. Y'all ready? All right, I'm going to. It won't come this way. It won't turn all the way around. I tried this morning. Like, I tried that this morning. No, I had somebody else. They should just pick it up and put it on this side. I tried that this morning. Somebody's been able to turn it around this way.
No,
they probably sit that
way. They sat more in the corner where you can see it.
I was thinking, why not just pick it up and turn it around though? Because it seems like you could just unscrew it.
I was just looking at that.
And then you could slide it right here.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Because it seems like it should just be as simple as undoing the bolts, whatever the tighteners are. Or a release of some kind.
Right. No, they're screwed in there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. They're screwed in there with a, looks like a Allen wrench.
Okay.
Yep. Todd, you can see the screen, right?
What screen? No, yeah.
You can. I can make it bigger.
No.
You know, I can
I'm
make
blind, but I'm not that blind.
Ricky Hendon wants to talk to you guys.
No, all right. Don't break your neck. I don't know how the insurance is here.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, man. Baby.
Yes. Second one. I gotta go do it for commercial.
Oh, you know what I meant to do.
Hi, Todd.
Morning.
How are you?
Great, you?
Good. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this.
Don't break your neck.
No, I'm gonna step over it. Okay. Todd, I'm just letting you know I'm coming.
Oh, you bringing it in?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna go this way. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Oh yeah. Good time.
What's up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Who is rocking with us? I am going to upload, so the show will be uploaded to YouTube later on today, as well. I got my hand sanitizer, but here go my thing with the gloves. My thing with the gloves is, whatever my gloves touch, that's fine. I'm just trying to keep it off my hands. Now, the part I'm having trouble with is keeping my hands away from my face. But I'm working on that. Okay? Did y'all see that? How the city is, how one police officer has declared martial law in 4 blocks? What up, Celine?
I saw that.
What up, Bob Israel? What up, Lunye? What up, Trina Downs? What up, B Mo? B Mizzle Mo? What up, Kathy Wiley? What up, Felicia Gatewood? Hey, Sonia. When we come back, yeah. And yeah. Why'd you have to go so soon? All right, y'all. I'm about to do a tribute to my man Jermaine Marbury. It's a gangster-lean, but he was a Blackstone. But all that neither here nor there.
Children.
It's like, I think, you know what I say that though? Not like, I mean, I feel like what happens to people is a lot of times they have those, I think that in some cases in Chicago, surviving that is a badge of honor, right? Or having participated, and I know you think of it differently. I don't think like of him as a person that currently, you know what I'm saying? He was like a father doing this thing, and you know, I think like all the old guys, that was just, I feel like for people who didn't go away sometimes, that was like they little clique. So I don't feel like now they're like gang banging or even like they got kids, grown, responsible, all of that stuff.
Oh no, man. I know so many people. Half the leaders in the ward
claim some, right?
Oh, damn yeah.
So that's all of. This one's dedicated to my homies in that gangsta lane. Why'd you have to go so soon? It seems like yesterday we were hanging round the hood. Now I'm gonna keep your memory alive like a homie should. A lifetime of memories going down the drain. I'd like to keep stepping, but I can't get past the pain. I take a 40 to your memories. It goes drink and I start to think, and I know one day soon we'll be hanging out. This is for my homie. This is for my homie. Well. See you when I get there. In that gangster lane, This is for my homies. This is for my homies. Well, see you when I get there. In that gangster lane, My God. Could you get on a message for me? I don't know if that was done for a second. Listen to his homies. You tell him I'll never let go of his memories, so his son will know. You don't have to cry no more. God's got his back. I say God's got his back. Lifetime of memories going down the drain. I like to keep slipping, 'cause I can't get past the pain. I tip my 40 to your memory. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, and I had to take a moment, y'all. I have to send a shout out to everybody in Bolingbrook. The coronavirus has touched us. The coronavirus. Are you really laughing as I'm trying to do my thing for my friend real quick? Can I get 1 second? Just 1 second.
I'm sorry.
Seriously, like you know what? We lost a 25-year friend.
Oh, is that the young man I saw a post about? Yeah, that was very sad. Go ahead.
To the family of Jermaine Marbury, to all of our friends in Bolingbrook, this one touched home. Jermaine Marbury was class of 1990. He was part of the first wave of people who moved to Bolingbrook after the first wave. And it was just one of those things where Facebook had reconnected so many of us. And I was scrolling through my pictures, and yesterday I got a text from some friends, and it was a group text, and it was like 30 texts. I was working on something, and people were like, Jermaine died. And I was like, are you kidding me? No way. It's not possible that Jermaine Marbury passed away. And so for all of my friends and associates and relatives, people from Bolingbrook who knew Jermaine Marbury, he was the ultimate Facebook roaster, right? He used to be a big, I don't want to call him a big goon, but back in the day, he used to be one of those guys. And as we all grow up and mature, he was one of those people that kept us all entertained and connected us. And so I just wanted to take a moment to just to show a moment of respect to one of our brothers who passed from the coronavirus. Todd, you had something you wanted to say?
No, I saw it. I didn't know him, but I was shocked because he was, so young.
Right. And I think
and didn't have any underlying. He didn't have any underlying.
Yes, he did. He had a diabetes. So
diabetes is an underlying.
Yes,
no, I didn't think that would be like
that is one of the underlying conditions, which is part of the reason that this thing touches so many people. But I guess that this leads into my point.
Man, diabetes has a big effect on black people. I didn't think that that would be something that black people would have to worry about.
Right, but it is. And so understanding that, it got me to thinking about this coronavirus crisis. And in this coronavirus crisis, you know how you've heard people like Ram say, never let a good crisis go to waste. I was thinking about where have we taken a self-assessment as black folks? Have we taken a self-assessment as black folks? And when I say that, I'm asking if we are going to be better after this event. After this crisis, we are, how do we, after this crisis, I'm sorry, how do we become better? What are the things that we need to do better? What are the things that we need to do better as black folks coming out of this crisis? Right? Like, are we going to be better? Have we thought about the fact, like how we eat? Just think about that. So diabetes. What are we learning right now? And how will black people be better after this crisis?
I think I've been watching a lot of TV. I wonder, people even think about diabetes in this thing? I mean,
what?
I mean, do we know?
I think that all underlying conditions, and I don't know if it's, and I guess maybe I got a little bit distracted. So here's what I'm suggesting. What I am asking is, what are we going to do better? When you look around, what are we missing right now? Like, we're not going to be able to pay bills. Right? Do we have a fund, like right now, what is the plan for the black business community? What is the do we have any grocery stores in our communities?
Well, no, we know that. I mean, I remember when we had certified, I think he had 3 stores. But, I mean, he worked those stores. And they lasted a long time, but, I mean, he was the only person.
So I guess my question becomes, and this is the social media question of the day, how will black people be better after the coronavirus crisis? That is the social media question of the day. Educationally, what are we doing educationally? What are we going to do to, you know how we talk about making our kids better? We send our children to the enemy to be educated. Okay. How are we going to make our education better? How are we going to make our business community better? How are we going to, Todd, do we have a food bank that is our own? Has this opportunity showed us things that we do not control? And have we said, are we going to build from here?
Did you watch WTTW when they were in Beverly?
No.
They were in Beverly and they were showing what the Beverly people were doing, and they were, you know, gathering food, and they were doing all kind of things to kind of just help people in their area. And do we have that?
Like, have we marshaled our resources? That's what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like, are we like so? Are we like, what are we deficient in? So right now, if we had no government resources, what have we done since we've been here, since this time, or what are we doing to prepare ourselves to be better? If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know if
have we even looked at it?
I don't think we've looked at it yet, for sure.
So how long does it take for us to say, after being sheltered in place, that when we come out, how will black people be better? And that's really what I'm trying to get at. After we get through with this shelter in place order, how do we get better? Right?
I want to ask you a question. Do you want to take Ricky in this call before we go to break?
Oh, no, I can't, but we'll take Ricky's call when we come back. I can't see the screen right now.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
All right. It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming.
I'm sorry, Maze. Something popped up and I was like, what the hell is that?
What?
When I
So is it? So
I can't hear her in my headphones, the singing.
Is it me? I guess, am I hearing something else? I thought it was her, but I'm not sure. So am I hearing Jennifer sing? What am I hearing in my headphones? I feel like I do. So I'm gonna go through with this next break. It just feels like I'm hearing. So afterwards. Hey Jennifer, I can hear that, so I can hear it through the glass. When I'm.
What are you hearing? Are you hearing me sing?
I don't know which one it is, but I can hear. So when we come back, I'll let you know which one it is. But I can hear it.
Hello, you know my voice, don't you? Well, just this once, let me tell you something without you asking me first. Now you can complete the census online. Just go to 2020census.gov. The census cannot share your response. More importantly, you can help inform how billions in funding will be spent each year on things in your community. Complete the census online, by phone, or by mail.
Man. All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast. All right, I was a little distracted in that break. It was too much. All right, what were you saying, Todd?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I saw something funny when you started, and it made me laugh before I even knew what you were doing.
Got it. And
I like to apologize when things go bad.
Okay, we gonna have a problem.
I remember when I was in college, and I was walking to one of the guys' rooms and I stopped, and they were talking about me. Like, that Todd is so selfish. He doesn't bring your stuff back. Man, I feel like I got a kick in the stomach. But then it taught me something also, though.
What did it teach you?
It taught me that sometimes you do things and it just seems like, and you're living in your own little world, and you don't realize how other people see it. So every once in a while you got to step back and say to yourself, okay, what am I doing? How does it affect other people? And should I have done something today that reflects that I understand that they are here and I'm not ignoring their needs too.
Got it. You know what? So let me say this. I think that this is not you, but I think that a lot of times what I have come to recognize is that elected officials or people who have been in that space are often, especially if they have staff, are often not attuned to other people's needs or attuned to how they come off to other people when they're not, like, in some cases, like when you're a boss, you don't have time to, your job is to be the boss. Right. It's not to be worried about anybody's feelings, because ultimately, if I'm working for you, I understand that you are working for all of our greater good. And I have come to recognize that there are a lot of elected officials who you have to get past that, because they do have a sense of, like, nobody really ever pushes back because you need them.
Right, nobody pushes.
Nobody says anything.
Right.
And then that's why when they're not elected, people will be like, man, because I remember when you treated me like blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they may not have meant it foully, but they are very unaware of the needs of anyone else except their own, because everyone from the lobbyists to their staff is scurrying around for them.
Yeah, that's true. Great. So maybe I might just
search for a 9 to 5. If I strive, then maybe I'll stay alive. So I walk up the street whistling this, feeling out of place, cause man, do I miss a pen and a paper, a stereo, a taper. Me and Eric being a nice big plate of fish, which is my favorite dish. But without my money, it's still a wish. Cause I don't like to dream about getting paid, so I dig into the books of the rhymes that I made. Soon as a test to see if I got pulled, hit the studio, cause I'm paid. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, Todd. I'm asking the social media question of the day. How will black people be better after the coronavirus crisis? You know, your boy Ron. Ricky.
Before you get to Ricky, yeah. I got a Eric B. and Rakim story.
What?
I'm in Cincinnati.
Okay.
And, you know, Cincinnati is so conservative. But there's an Eric B. and Rakim.
Is that where you went to that last Trump rally? I remember you snuck off to go do that. Okay.
No, I probably was like 30.
Yep.
And so they wouldn't let you in the city proper, you know, in the downtown area, unless you could show you had a room key, because they didn't want too many black folks running around. So we get there, and we're in a hotel. We meet Rakim's brother, but...
It's Rakim, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. Brother, he said it was Rakim. No, I don't.
Okay.
So we're in the elevator. He said, yeah, we're going up there. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'd ever ask to go to a rapper's party. Because I'm not that brave.
What? Todd, so wait a minute. So you was kicking it with Eric B. and Rakim. You was in the elevator. They say, come to the party. And you say...
No, he mentioned he was going to his room, to his brother's room.
Oh, you should. That was the key. That's the key, dog. You just supposed to stay on the elevator and keep on walking. Man. Supposed to keep going with him, right? You just roll like when that conversation. You just keep rolling like you was supposed. Man, I was on my way up to that too. Oh, you going to the same? I'm going to the same floor. See, Todd, you might have got some fall off in that. You know, like I didn't think about that for a second. Hey, you know, it's the Talk of Chicago 16.
I just say I wasn't that brave.
See, that made me think about Freaknik, the old days of Freaknik, when we used to go to Freaknik and you go down there and people be like,
in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm. You know what's so funny? I was reading the story of Freaknik, and do you know, like, all the people who put it together became like the elected officials?
Yeah, I saw that.
So like Kasim Reed, he's like the mayor. Keisha Lance Bottoms, they was all. Imagine going from that. Well, you know what? Actually, honestly, I think that we did that at U of I too. I mean, I think it's just the process of growing up.
I see the same thing here with Howard Brookins was part of one of those groups. I can't remember the name of it.
Howard Brookins wasn't no party. He just threw no parties.
Yeah, big time.
And he threw a party. Was Howard like one of them guys that showed up to the party with the, like he showed up with the limo?
You just don't know. Howard's parties were, it was the kind of party where if you were at that age at that time, you would have said, Howard, can you let me in free, man? It was that kind of party.
No, Howard would have been calling me like, man, could you come to my party, man?
And the First Friday people? I mean, I know some of them, and man, they're very successful.
Danielle, right, man. It was a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people blew up from that. But Todd, see, there we go. Back to the parties. Oh my God, the parties. You know what? So I just want to know, how do black people come out better?
Well, don't forget Ricky, because he's still up on it.
Ricky Hendon. Ricky.
Pop up like a bad nigga.
Hey, I saw Ricky 2 weeks ago, right before we was all about lockdown shopping. Ricky was locked down shopping. Let me tell you what. We was all in the store. Let me tell you how we knew the lockdown was coming and Negroes, brothers was at peace. Cause me, Ricky Hendon, and Mark Carter was all in the store at the same time, nobody blew up.
No fight broke out.
What's up, Ricky?
Hey, it was peace in the hood. Well, I just gotta say, man, I ain't been happy to see two jet black, thick, glass wearing, greasy faced Negroes niggling around the radio in my life. See you two nigglings around today.
Nigglings! I'm telling you, Ricky, they tried to argue with me over the use of the word niggle. Like, they really went to the dictionary. And I was like, you just conjugating the word, right? So it's like, well, it really means that it's annoyance. I was like, exactly. Nigglings.
Niggling.
It's, what is it? Nigged, niggling. Well, and then I'll let the other one go.
You know where they're trying to go.
Right, and they be trying to play like they don't. Whatever could you mean? And then when you call it on them, then they was like, well, you know what? Never mind, I just basically called you a Negro. I would like to just join me in the Trump bashing, and we can forget all about that. And I was like, nah, you and the Trump people would be calling me a Negro together, and I'm gonna be the one standing around. What's up, Ricky? How you feeling, man? What you doing, man? What's going on?
The white liberals can be the worst.
Man.
I was on y'all Facebook Live.
Okay.
And I saw that Todd responded at something I posted, I guess. His wife had the flu too.
Right.
I'm so glad that she's over it. I thought she left Todd a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ricky, some people you can fool all the time.
I didn't know which one of y'all got the best end of that deal. It's like Maze and Carrie. I didn't know which one.
Hey, Carrie I got the best end of that deal. You ain't got to guess. I won. You ain't got to guess. I give it up. I won with Carrie. I did.
I talked to one of my friends the other day. I'm back it's good to be back among the living. A lot of people talking about the test. I'm talking about the cure.
Okay.
It's called a Z-Pack. That's what I'm on, and I took the first two last night. And bro, let me tell you, everything they had me taking wasn't doing nothing. I took that Z-Pack, them little viruses started complaining and stuff. All in my stomach complaining when I swallowed it. I was like, yeah, okay, bro. This is what's happening.
So the Z-Pack.
Z-Pack.
Z-Pack. Ricky Hendon said, get you a Z-Pack. You know, that's not what my cousin said. You know what my cousin said? My cousin said he is not worried about the corona because he said the cloud of smoke around him catches all the droplets. He was like, he said, what you got to do is, he said, you mix your little ginger, a little lemon, boil that in some water, make the mist, and then after you put that on the table, then he said what you do is you roll you one, and then you smoke and you drink at the same time, and it creates like a shield, a force field that blocks all droplets. Now, Rick, you got a CBD store. I thought you was gonna call me and tell me that you had a cure for the virus with CBD, man. Cause somewhere in there, I'm telling you, these cannabinoids. I'm telling you now. I bet you within the next month, there's going to be a cannabis store that says, we found a cure to corona, and my cousin said he already got it. Hey, y'all, it's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
The station, 1690 AM.
All right, y'all. What if you lived on one of 4 blocks where you had to show ID to go home? Todd doesn't want to believe me about the overstepping of the bounds. But I'm telling y'all now.
No, but that's not corona. Isn't that crime?
It's based on the corona. They said this is let me read, and I quote, a strategic and not strategic public health. It's strategic and public health plan. So they are going to use.
Yeah, but public health is also trying to make sure people don't get shot.
The tool, okay.
Well, I know it is.
See, you know what, Todd? You be like, you. So that's okay, because what I've come to recognize is left, right, left, up, down, up, right? So here's what I'm gonna say, Todd. I think it's crazy that this is an example of the overstepping of the bounds. So they said in response to the coronavirus, there are 4 open air drug areas that while they don't want the spread to continue because of that, which I understand, but I also recognize that is the overplay for the underlay, which is we finna go shut these 4 open air drug markets down. Now imagine if you live and you've been a prisoner in your own neighborhood. You're a prisoner in your own neighborhood, and now they tell you got to show ID to get into your house.
I think you're looking at it backwards. I think most of the people who aren't, well, let me put it this way. I think the people who aren't connected to drug sales are going to be like, thank you, Lord, where you been all this time? Finally, I won't have all these strangers coming in my neighborhood.
Until one of their kids gets shot. You got the camera.
But why?
Why did LaQuan McDonald get shot?
Are you trying? Why was the first? So you're suggesting that the open air market is a safe haven, in a sense.
I am suggesting that what I would not do right now. That's a subculture that needs to be undisturbed because we already got problems with the other people.
What's that shirt you want, Maze?
That's an interesting take on it. I don't know. There's a theory that if you ignore anything that's criminal activity, that you are helping larger activity happen. Matter of fact, I think that was like New York policing. Matter of fact, they did that in our district for a while.
Mr. Maze.
That looks big. Put that, you should put one like somewhere behind Todd. Yeah. Or you could put it right back. I wonder, could you put it on the door? Huh? Move it over some. Yeah, if they should have sent me the graphic, I would have just put it on the screen.
2020.
What size? You probably.
Me?
Large?
Yeah, I'm a large.
Man.
I remember when I was a medium. Those were the good old days. I was like a tiger.
Yeah, I just think like, so again, if you live on, I could.
Grande.
But I think actually medium. I think they run a little large. Good.
I think that. Well, what's funny is I know every single one of those blocks, and they are all hot. It's so crazy because that just makes me be like, you know, God has protected me for so many years, for so long. Sometimes, and I think sometimes it's like when you don't know, you're safer than if you do know, right? Because, like, I was reading a list and I was like, wait a minute, blah, blah, blah live here. Blah, blah, blah lives here. Now, I'm not there anymore, but the places that they're naming are long time. Like, them been tipping forever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes you got to do something. I don't know. I mean,
I
think sometimes we fool around, like I say, we fool around with the symptoms and we never actually try to cure the disease, so it's a tough one.
So, let me say that I'm not even... how do I put this? I'm not even debating how do I feel? I'm not debating, Todd, whether you could use it as a tool. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying they are using it as a tool, right? My question is, when does the tool turn off and who gets to pick when the tool is exercised, right? So clearly somebody said, shit, we got this open air, we got the district commander looked at what was going on and said, man, lock down these 4 blocks. Literally, they have put police stop checkpoints at the end of both the ends of these blocks. Now, if I lived there and I was held hostage, yes, I understand that to an extent. To an extent. But I think about, one, if I showed up as, again, American citizen, and now a independent warlord, if this was Afghanistan, has decided that these 4 blocks are off the grid. You can't, he decided I'm taking over these tips. Now, I'm not tripping on him. However, I am saying that there still has to be some rule of law. And if you are excusing that there isn't, all I'm saying is when they shoot the person, it's going to be under the same guise. So think about this. The mayor shut down and did that big old press conference and showed us all the white folks on the beach, and the first arrest was in this same district.
Wow.
Right? So somebody is looking at the rules the way I've been telling you people are looking at the rules, like, how can I use this to get as far ahead and advance as many things as while people are looking again? So if they could shut that down, why not go underground? If y'all mad about what happened with, what's that police officer that got killed by the guy underground, Bauer?
Bauer, yeah.
The police could literally go underground and say, all of y'all are congregating, go to Tent City, kill everything in that mud. Or just say, we've roped off Tent City, and then one by one. Now, you might be grateful for that now, but in 30 days, and they may kill everybody in the 30 days that they needed to kill or lock up. This is also being run out of the same place where they had the secret jail.
I remember that.
Close that door. And so it's like,
Chief Education Officer LaTanya McDade.
I thought you said 7:30.
7.
Okay, that's fine. What's 15 minutes?
Yeah, we have it to 20. So if you want, if it gets good, you can take it up to 20 and break late. You know.
One lonely beastie I be, all by myself without nobody. The sun is beating down on my baseball hat. The air is getting hot. The beer is getting flat. Looking for a girl, I ran into a guy. His name is MC8. I said howdy. He said hi. Oh. He told a little story that sounded well rehearsed. Clean the thirst. And he was on my tip. I said, can he get none? Pulled out against a run. Pulled out a shotgun. Quick on the draw. I thought I'd be dead. He put the gun to my head, and this is what he said. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Hey, Todd, but you know how we do at the top of the hour. Got to say what's up to the rest of the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Miss Jennifer Thompson in the newsroom, as well as Sonia Escobar. She is the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. Todd, I got my rundown a little bit out of order, but it's never out of order when we are talking to Chicago public schools. Now, let me tell you what. I remember it was about 2 years ago, and I remember that we just could not stand the good Reverend Dr. Forrest, we shall overcome Claypool. And he was tossing our children around left and right, and we were screaming bloody murder because we needed to get our children in the hands of people who understood. And lo and behold, Janice Jackson became the CEO of the Chicago Public Schools. And I'm going to tell you what, I probably never felt better about CPS. But you know, when you talk about leadership, leadership is not just about the person at the top, but it is about the people and the team that you build.
Right.
and the reliability, the credibility, and the respectability that they have, and the credibility that they have when it comes to the teachers and the people that they are responsible for leading. And so when Todd called me up yesterday and said we were going to be talking to Miss LaTanya McDade, I was like, man, see, you go from 1 to 2 and you don't miss a beat. And with so much going on with this e-learning, with the schools closing, with the coronavirus, I just thought it was important that we talk to somebody who could give us the, as they call, as my man John would say, that straight dope. So here to talk to us today is Miss LaTanya McDade. She is with CPS. I can't get the exact title because on my screen is the other way. Todd, do I have a title?
Chief Education Officer.
Chief Education Officer, Miss LaTanya McDade.
Education Officer.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know what? I'm trying to make it. This coronavirus is really, it's a gloomy, doomy thing, and I really am trying to stay uplifted and trying to provide positive information and positive content for our listening audience. And so I think I'm doing it, I'm making it, and I think it's hearing from people like yourself that tell us that there is a plan and that we are going to be okay and that our children are going to be okay. It makes me feel much better. So I'm doing better. How are you?
You know what? I'm hanging in there as well. I think this is all, unknown. I told my team yesterday, it feels like, we're at war with the unknown, and in so many respects we are. But, we have a tremendous job to do to ensure that our young people in this city, and quite frankly in this country, are continuing to learn and really preparing for their future, because we will come out of this on the other side and we'll be stronger together for it. So, I'm hanging in there, fighting the good fight, trying to make sure that we're staying focused and prioritizing what's most important, which is not just our students, but our families in this city. So, we're all in this together.
Well, let me tell you, thank you so much. And can I tell you what, first of all, I appreciate everything you guys are doing with the meals, making sure that they're available to the families. And I'm going to tell you one of the things that, I'm a Facebook provocateur at times.
Oh.
And one of the things...
I'm not a Facebook person, but...
But you know what? I am. But it is one of the ways that we are starting to see so much communication. And one of the things that is concerning so many Black parents out there now is what will happen to the education this year for their kids. And so I wanted, I saw yesterday, first of all, y'all move quick. Because first when y'all shut the schools down, I was like, what they going to do with all the kids? Y'all had food plans for everybody. People were ready to go. Then we heard that there was going to be this school shutdown. So first of all, let me just get this rumor. I want you to tell me. I heard yesterday, and I want to dispel this, yes or no, and maybe things will change. But as of now, has school been canceled for the whole year? Is CPS canceled for the whole year?
No, so definitely want to dispel that. This is a really fluid situation. Things are changing every day. And for our country, it's an unprecedented time. And I think we're all trying to figure this out. So what has happened thus far is that, we have been practicing the social distancing. We have the executive order, stay at home, and the schools are closed. Originally was until the 21st, and then we just had an update from the governor that it'll extend to April 30th. So right now, the COVID-19 closure is extending to April 30th. And we've gotten no additional directives about the remainder of the year. We're leaving that to the medical professionals and our government officials that are making those kinds of calls. But right now, the current state is that the COVID closure will go until April 30th, and that's where we are right now.
Okay, so you heard that, y'all. Schools are not closed. Don't care what Facebook told you. We are still moving forward. Now, spring break is coming up for a lot of our students, but coming out of spring break, LaTanya, talk to me about this new e-learning plan. I heard it was 100,000 new computers and iPads coming, and I'm just trying to figure out who get the 100,000 and how do they apply?
Yeah. That's the $1 million question that's on the top of everyone's mind.
$75 million question, because that's a lot.
That's right. Well, one couple of things I do want to, speaking of kind of dispelling some things or clearing up some facts. We're not calling this an e-learning plan. What we're
Okay.
calling this is a remote learning plan. Let me tell you why, Maze. Because, with e-learning, that is suggesting that there was a fully baked plan where everyone would have access to devices to be able to get access to curriculum and teaching, etc. And we're just not in that space, as most districts in the nation are. We're all trying to figure this new normal out in this time. And so remote learning is really about continued learning, making sure that students have access to continuous learning opportunities, both digital and non-digital. In an e-learning space, it's all digital. And so we know that we have families that don't have access to devices, that don't have access to Wi-Fi. And so one of the reasons that we communicated and tried to, get the awareness out about the devices is because we want to try to the best of our ability to get as many devices in the hands of the families that need it the most. And so we're really prioritizing high needs communities. From the time our CEO, Dr. Janice Jackson, came into office and we released our very first our vision, it was always about equity, always making sure that we're looking at how students have access in equity and access, as well as equity and excellence. So we're prioritizing, we're taking a look at the economic hardship data.
Okay.
We're taking a look at schools' demographic data, the number of students receiving free and reduced lunch, the number of students with diverse learning needs that have IEPs. We're looking at all of those things, and we actually released a survey to our school leaders. Our principals and our teachers, they know their communities the best. They are working with their students every single day, and they forge really strong, trusting relationships with their students and parents. So they have, quite frankly, information that I think no other data source can really give us. And so we gave out a survey to our school leaders, and they also weighed in on this to say, these are the families that we know are in need. And so that is how we're going to distribute those devices. We also have, high school students who are preparing for their post-secondary plans and looking to the future once they graduate from the district. And so we have students right now that are enrolled in city colleges that are taking college-bearing courses that now have gone, online. And so we want to make sure they're not missing out on those opportunities because they don't have a device.
So let me stop you right there. Let me jump in right there because that's a tremendous amount of education. First of all, tell me where people can go to get information. Yeah. That I want to do that.
Yep. So, and that's a good question. We're right now building out that plan. A couple of things have to happen. We're looking at multiple options. One, where we're able to have families pick up devices. We are exploring a mail option for families that may not be able to get out to pick up devices. The pickups, of course, we're looking at the local schools where they would normally go to pick up the food distribution sites that are currently operating. So parents can pick up, packets, and they pick up food, and they'll also, we're hoping to use that same method to pick up devices. We have not clearly defined what that process will be, but it is coming. Details on that is coming in the near future, but we're exploring both some mail delivery as well as pickup options.
Okay, LaTanya, I got to do speed round because I'm running out of time, right? So tell me, what do parents see? I see that children are prepared to switch to remote learning and remote learning. I'm trying to get that right.
Right.
And eventually probably e-learning. It's the parents. How do parents cope? Because I am telling you, like, my son is on his computer and he's like, I took class already. I'm like, how do parents know what to do?
You know what? And as a parent myself, I can tell you, I know how challenging it is. And, and I also think that this kind of raised a really great appreciation for the work that our educators are doing every day, because it's really hard work. What I would say to parents, my best advice to parents is, one, go easy on yourself. This is a difficult time for us all, and you are included in that. Be patient, be flexible and nimble. But most importantly, I think what's really helpful is having a schedule. We released a parent guide to remote learning, and in that guide, we give a lot of great information for parents, frequently asked questions But students are accustomed to having a routine and a really structured routine when they're in school, and we know it can't be as structured now at home, but any kind of routine that can be developed, having a regular schedule where you know when they have to go online or when they should be completing activities, I think will be helpful for both the parent and for the student. And then also for our families, I really want them to know that we're here for them and they're not going to have to do this alone. All schools, as a part of their remote learning plan, will have school office hours, and teachers will be conferencing with parents as well, so they can reach out and get questions answered.
I gotta stop you there, but there is so much that we packed into this. I know you guys are like under a tremendous amount of pressure, right? And so let me do this for the WVON listening audience. Black folks, and I'm gonna tell you, because this Black Folks Radio, we got some sisters that are running the joint right now. And let me just tell you, nobody knew how this was going to work out. And so go easy, because everybody's trying to get the work through. Everybody's trying to figure it out. But LaTanya, what I do want to do, and I know you guys are super busy, but I would love to be a tool to help parents. So if there's a way for us to give us just even a weekly 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something that we can tell parents that they can do and our children can do so we can help push it out, we want to help with that. So y'all figure out who it's going to be. But we need somebody to come back and tell us and give us parents that, and I'll dedicate some time to that every week just to give parents, and let's try to do it on a Monday so they can have marching orders to go through. But LaTanya, I want to thank you, thank Janice, thank you to the mayor, thank you to everybody who is pulling together to make this, to get through this thing. We appreciate you being on today.
Thank you so much, Maze, and thank you so much for providing this important information to the community, and you have our commitment. We're going to get you that information so that you can keep it flowing, because that's the most important thing.
All right, y'all, we'll be back after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
I liked her. I was going to be funny acting, but she was, I got to stop. I'll be like, man, I come out and get the president. But she did a good job.
Well, she's the number 2.
Yeah. And quite frankly, can I tell you something? It's the number 2 that gets the shit done. The number 1, so just if y'all ever paying attention, the number 1 is always going to tell you nice, warm, fuzzy shit. The number 2 is like, you're fired.
Hey, actually, he's right. Yeah. Before we actually got, everything down pat, my chief of staff fired some people. And that was the hardest thing he ever did. But, yeah, they do the crappy work. Then we got a guy from the outside in human resources, and he did all the firing. Man, he was good at that. Six bedroom.
Dang, it ain't no man nowhere in the rescue team. JB is the only man on the team in the save our everything. Think about that.
That's interesting in the health field.
I need your loving.
That's the bottom line.
I need your loving.
All time. Loving. I need your loving.
Just a little loving, just won't do. Just a little love, just a little loving.
So good.
so good. Just a little love from you. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Todd, we just got through talking to LaTanya McDade. She is the Chief Education Officer at CPS, that's Chicago Public Schools. Hey man, it's not e-learning anymore. It's remote learning, right? You know what I didn't get to ask? What's gonna happen to the GPAs? Man, you know this is the time of the year that the nerds would really get into it, right? And I used to float in between, right? I float in between the kids, the cool kids, and the nerds, right? And this is the time when you be like, man, I have a 4.32, and if it's pass or fail, you can't get your GPA. How do you get the valedictorian? How do you determine the prom king and queen? How do you determine all of those year-end things? What does the last yearbook look like? You know, Todd, one of the things that I was thinking is the unintended consequences of what is happening to seniors. Seniors in college, but not so much seniors in college. The senior in high school, I mean, can you imagine? You know how hard people don't win for prom? I'm probably grateful for that. Maybe after seeing some of these people's prom send-offs, it's like they not planning on a wedding, they not planning on nothing. This is it.
Yeah, right. This is it for me.
But no graduation, no senior luncheon, right? Like all the things, no Great America trip. What about your DC trip to Washington? You know,
even 8th grade they had ceremonies. Remember?
Right. Oh, we had 8th grade ceremony. Really? No class ribbons.
Nope.
No senior key. This is what I want to do on Friday. I would like to, on Friday, to our listening audience, I'm looking for seniors in high school. City, suburbs, Catholic, public, private, I don't care. I'm looking to talk to seniors in high school, parents, because I want to know what is their issue. Sonia is over there crying for her babies. She got I told you. I'm trying to have a virtual prom. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, but see, there will be all of those solutions. But when the top pops, right, and we are all able to come back, I do think that it is important that we try to give our seniors in high school some memories. Like, I don't care if the mayor takes Navy Pier, the rooftop, and the whole thing, and says it's the world's largest senior prom, and everybody has a joint prom, and they put all the security in the world there.
Yeah, they can't do that.
But I don't know if there is a 10-day make good tournament instead of AAU tournaments all summer. Do we have a Final Four basketball tournament for all of those people? Like, how can we make it good, or at least try to give them some sense of normalcy? I'm going to tell you that my senior year in high school was probably something that I'll always remember, right? And even like prom was probably the most anticlimactic thing. You did all of that build up to go sit at a stale ballroom, and everybody that you saw, but it was all the anticipation to it. Right. And so what I do want to do and really figure out is, again, what can we do? You know, like all summer, I'm saying somewhere in our plan, we should give our children the opportunity to close out, to finish strong, right? You're a junior, you're going to pick it up. You can do it all over. You're in high school, you're in college, it's going to be, you're a senior in college, so what? You'll be all right. You're going to get a job anyway. Mm-hmm. But high school graduation for some people is the biggest thing that they may do. Y'all are so loud. I'm gonna tell you, I can hear y'all. It's like I can listen to y'all might as well just come on and join the show.
I was just talking about my prom. It lasted 3 days.
It lasted 3 days. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna delete all prom. Like, I'm still praying that no one ever finds a prom picture. Somebody is gonna find a prom picture. I think we burned all them bad boys. Woo-wee.
What color was your tuxedo?
My tuxedo was great.
Mine was great too.
Yeah, it was during the I had tails. I had a top hat and a cane with white gloves. Yeah.
You just love to overdo it.
Well, it was fresh, bro. I had my hat. I'm telling you. But I was just thinking.
Did you have a horse and carriage pick you two up?
No, I had a stretch limo. And it was fun. I didn't even tell you. I can't even tell you the stories. And to all the Bolingbrook people out there, shut it! Shut it! I'm telling you. Look, I got a feeling as people get bored over the course of this, they're gonna start going deeper into the archives. They're gonna start going deeper into the archives. All right, y'all. It's the Talk of Chicago. When we come back, what if you lived on one of 4 blocks on the west side of Chicago? And during this lockdown, they told you had to have an ID to come to your house. Can CPD declare martial law on specific people and blocks? Let's talk about it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
Live from the WVON newsroom.
I mean,
here's our
I don't know if
news
I
now.
can't, sitting right there, I can't hear everything. But it's like, I swear to God, everything is like loud.
It does seem kind of loud.
It's like, I don't know if like what is going on, but like I feel like you guys, I can hear every word that you're saying, and I can hear every word that she is saying. And it's like, and I got my headphones on. That's crazy. I don't know why it's so pronounced today.
I heard, sometimes that aliens, when they get a hold of you, they increase your senses.
Here he goes with the UFOs.
Hey Todd, what were you talking? The Stafford Act or Stafford Law?
Oh yeah, the Stafford Act.
So I mean, I think Maze is right about that. Is like you just can't stop American citizens and card them unless they.
No, they do that. No shit. They police do that in the hood all the time.
Yeah,
let me see your ID. You be like, what? I need you. Don't show me no ID. I'm taking your ass to jail for vagrancy.
I was about to say there's still vagrancy laws. You actually are supposed to have.
Todd is talking as a white person.
What defines vagrancy?
Be black and don't have ID.
Yeah, not having being able to show who you are, and not having any. Really, it's like not having money.
So if you got money in your pocket, you're not a vagrant.
Well, you have to be able to prove you are who you are, or they can take you in.
So Todd, I think we should come up with a something from CPS. I don't care if it's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or even if it's, and it doesn't have to be Janice or LaTanya McDade, but I think that once a week, like even if it's on Mondays, they should just do hey parents, look, we're trying to, they can pre-record it, I don't care, but like it's a custom morning show feature, right? And then after that, like we're gonna I got the vocabulary words, right, that I'll give at the beginning of the week. So like, this is for the kids that are at crib learning, blah, 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 parents, and I'm going to try and find a prize or something for them. But I felt like there was a lot of information packed, and I think we could help people cope.
Yeah.
Right? I think she was good.
I'll talk to Emily.
And I don't think like, I do think Janice should come on one time and say, hey y'all, it's all good. Like we're working through it. Take that, and then she can move out the way. And I'll probably reach out to her and say that. I just want to hear it. Like, I know you're busy and you got to run around and do all that, but it's like the most impactful group.
I mean, if they don't have the time for it, we'll get something recorded.
Yeah, this is Janice Jackson.
You know what I mean?
She could do a PSA for like, hey kids, this is Janice Jackson. Like, I would just like to have even good PSAs from, like, start collecting PSAs for the morning show. Like, yo, stick together, stay together, whatever the tagline is or whatever it is. But start recording people to do that. And then, like, thinking about motivational people who can provide motivation. So, like, even if you can call, like, say, I'm using this as a simple one, but like Common, right? Common calls or he records something. It's like, yo, morning motivation, something, hey, y'all, stick together. Just people with positive messages that we can intersperse into the show as they are around. Like, I feel like I am it's like I don't want to be mad during this, and it's like I feel like I'm getting mad, and I feel like I don't. It's like I don't want to. It's like I see all the shit, right? I can see it. I don't want to keep. I just don't feel like I want to dwell on death, right? And so
that's funny. Some people on Facebook have been saying they don't want to see all this stuff, and it's trying to scare people.
I mean, I think you wanted to scare me. It's one thing, and I'm done. Like, I'm not fucking around. I'm not outside, right? I come do this. I go home. I'm going to work in my office, and I got a meeting that I have to take, right? But, like, realistically, working at the office, I work by myself, right? So I can get things that I need to get done so that I can be on 100 when we come back. But I don't, it's like, I feel I don't have to dwell on, I can't keep circling around this death spiral. It doesn't help me as a person. Mm-hmm. It's like I get all the shit, and it's like there's a certain point when all of the death stuff just becomes like I don't want to be insensitive to death, but like Jesus Christ, every day, every hour, it's a rolling death count. And it's like I'm getting mad. And I don't want to be mad. I just want to be like, man, let me get through this. Put some happy shit on TV. Be like, stay your ass in at the bottom and run across. Don't go outside. Coronavirus stays alive. But I don't need it to turn 2, 5, 7, and 9. Every story on the news is 30 million people died. Now we're having cutting off meat. Like, this is the most that I've ever seen. Everything that we've ever been taught to me has been kicked to the curb. Right? Fear, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. No, we are like, don't even, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't know. I just don't need. Brooklyn, keep on taking it. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. This is the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And Todd, more corona concerns. One of the things I told you that concerned me about the actions that we're taking, these unilateral actions that were being taken, was what is the negative repercussions of there not being clarity as to the rules. So let me just point something out. If you live on 3900 West, the block of 3900 West Van Buren, if you live on the 200 block of South Springfield, if you live on the 1100 block of North Monticello, or the 3800 block of West Gladys, you are now required, CPD, the local commander of the Harrison and Kedzie district has determined that you must show ID to prove you live there to enter the block. As a deterrent, he has placed police cars at both ends of the block. Now, some police officers have expressed some chagrin to enforcing this law, this rule, not law, this edict from the local police commander, aka local warlord, in these times of tumult where people have the ability to make their own rules. And I am concerned. Let me read to you what they called it. Because I said, is this part of the... I said, they're doing this under the guise of public health. But this is what the paper said, that they were doing this as a strategic and public health plan. As part of a strategic and public health plan. What I believe and what I told... Now this, coincidentally, Todd, this is also the same district where the first arrest for being outside or violating the social distancing happened. Now the mayor showed us all these pictures of white folks at the beach, but what did I tell you? The first person to get arrested was somebody black from the Harrison and Kedzie district. Now, if you live on one of those 4 blocks, the local police commander, aka chieftain, warlord, because if each police commander gets to make the rules for his own district, then I think it's sort of like Afghanistan, right? Like where the warlords kind of control.
Sure the public health had to have some kind of say in this, wouldn't they?
Public health and strategic. So, and this is what I need us to be clear about. Remember how people said never let a good crisis go to waste?
Right.
So we have a good crisis, and the police are imploring that edict. Now, Todd, what you would say, or someone in your position, and I said this last week, I was concerned about this, but what you would say is the people who live on the block that are held hostage by, because they call these open air drug markets, right? And so they're probably going to use the fact that there's such large volume and dope fiends got to get their dope, so they still working, right? So now, essentially what has occurred, Todd, is the police commander has decided that those 4 blocks, he's going to use this public health crisis to employ a strategy to remove those people from the block. And if you live in that block and you are held hostage, you probably, as you said, probably applaud that. But who determines who is who? In a time where, again, this just 4 years ago, this was the wrongful conviction capital of the world. And so to watch us just place our trust back that they're going to just do right by us because it's a public health crisis. This is the same police department where we've seen those same police officers have hunting rifles, take young black men and put antlers on their heads and have tongues hanging out of their mouth. And now we are going to trust them to make up their own rules during this public health crisis. I, Todd, am concerned.
You know, I don't think that I don't think that the goal is to like arrest people. I think the goal is to make sure that there's not a lot of people standing outside, hanging together. You know.
So do they
rules, whatever those rules are about being too close, type of stuff. You know.
So what? Why is that different than Todd? Than the white folks I saw yesterday when I went up north, and they were in the park playing tennis. I'm just asking. And I'm saying, why is it that we saw all those white folks on the beach and none of them got arrested, and the first person to get arrested was in Harrison and Kedzie, miles away from the beach? And now to tell me, are you suggesting, just this is what I'm asking, are you suggesting that there is a place or a time in which this is okay? That people who live on a block should now, because of this public health crisis and the fact that they live in an open air drug market, so they couldn't do anything about it legally up until this crisis, correct? Is that what you're suggesting? Or are they using this?
I'm suggesting that is a benefit of the crisis, because as you know, Maze, the people who are coming to this open air market aren't, I mean, if I remember correctly, I've read some stuff, I've never been there, but there's literally like lines, right? And people are in line to get stuff. So they're in violation of the rules that we are trying to enforce that say, you know, you're isolating yourself and you're staying so many feet apart. And all
so
that
if the drug dealers put squares in the lines, then you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess my question is, who determines where this happens and what determines? So what happens when the local
activity, no matter what?
So there's illegal activity everywhere, right? I am not suggesting that this is not a unique opportunity to clear up the open air drug markets. But if you employ this same strategy, right, how does it work out in your neighborhood? What happens when they declare your block an open air drug market and they want to clean it up and they say, Todd, you know what, we need Hans to show his ID to come into his house, and we need Claire, but oh Claire, we saw you with JoJo on the block because y'all grew up together. How does that work?
Maze, as you know, that will be nothing different. That goes on now, where your association gets you in trouble, but your association also gets you shot. So let's not try to fool ourselves. We know, well, maybe you don't, but I know people or other people who've gotten shot who they would swear and their parents would swear that they're not part of the organization that's selling drugs, and therefore there's some other group that wants to do it. And so now you're enemies, and they're shooting. Well, yeah, if you are hanging around with them, then you are actually part of it. And so you have made yourself a target. So we know it's dangerous for everybody. It's not only dangerous for those two kids walking down the street, but anybody who's probably going to be within 10 feet of them, or the house that they happen to be standing in front of.
Yeah, I think that this is an invasion of, I think this is a slippery slope that I was concerned about last week. I think that you will find yourself having people determining where they're going to enforce the laws to the levels that they want. I'm watching... Maybe the question is, shouldn't they have been enforcing this a little better before? Perhaps, but now what is the plan? All right, we have phone calls. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to the first call. James, you're on the Talk Chicago.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Todd. Good morning, Maze.
Good morning.
This Farrakhan of political radio. That's you are, brother. But that area you speak of, I work for a certain garbage company. I'm not going to say no name. That's my area. And what it is they got like 2 police cars posted on each end of the block. And a lot of it has to do with the residents. Right there on Van Buren and Pulaski, it's an open drug market. I mean, they all up and down the block. And talking to one of the residents, a lot of the guys that's over there don't live over there. And I guess when the police do come around, they disperse, and then they come back. And I think this is a way of, just clearing that area. Because if you notice, from 5th Avenue all the way down to Madison, Pulaski, that's like, oh my God, that's like Zombie Road. I mean, heroin addicts all up and down that street right there. But I think it has a lot to do with the community wanting that instead of a police lockdown, sort of say.
Okay. So again, this may be an opportunity for the community to clean up their neighborhoods. I guess my concern is, was that a community decision or was that the police officer's decision? We'll talk about it more when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of...
Let me say, I don't doubt that there are people who want those areas cleaned up, and I'm saying this is a unique opportunity to do it. My question is...
Excuse me, can you make sure this gets promoted, please?
What are the rules?
Stimulus bank.
What's in it for you, huh?
It's an ode to you, Maze, and it's openly been stated that. And today is National Census Day. It's actually a national recognized day. Not a holiday, but just a day, yes.
Just give me my shit. Don't say, it's not an ode to me if you say what's in it for you. But it's all good. That's what you get on Booty Butt Radio.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mace, did I tell you what we did last night? This is Claire. Well, Claire wanted Hans to watch a Korean show with her.
A Korean show?
Uh-huh. On Netflix. I think it's Netflix. I don't know. We got all these kind of things nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, it was a Korean drama. And Hans was like, yeah, okay. And so we're like, hey, Hans, did you say you're doing it? He's like, okay, I'm coming. So he came down, and then Claire said, you want to see it, Dad? And I was like, sure. So I watched it. We watched 2 hours. It was good. It was a good drama. It was in Korean, though. But I couldn't turn my head at any moment because I had to read the subtitles.
I can't. I have no time for subtitles right now.
Yeah.
I just don't. You guys have.
So I think we still have 4 seasons to go. So I'm like, dang,
that's a lot of reading.
That's a lot of reading. It is. But it's something we all can do together. Help get Hans off the TV.
I need the anticipation of sex.
Help get Claire off the phone.
If I see PG, I don't want to watch it. Right?
Oh, it's actually TV mature, but I think it's because of violence.
No. I feel like there has to be like some point in the movie where there's gonna be something, right? I feel like if it's PG,
no, his father got hit by a car and He was on a motor scooter, got hit by a car, and it was violent. The car drove him 10 feet, and then he fell in the woods.
I feel like if I see a movie, like I was gonna watch the Letter to the King, and then once it was a Netflix, but then once I saw that it was PG, I was like, I'm not watching this. It's like there's no anticipation of
I like PG.
Sex, drama, murder, none of that.
Matter of fact, I like some things that should be PG, and the only reason it's PG is because they want to get that rating. They want to get PG-13, really. So they'll have somebody say, "Damn, shit," and I'm like, "What?"
To me, me, you're so unpredictable. Why don't you bring me sway? I want you to love me for I am. Whatever happened to the dreams we used to share? Whatever happened? Girl, don't you even care? Tender kisses blown away. Tender kisses gone tomorrow, gone today. Tender kisses, my baby, my baby. Don't leave me here all alone. I want somebody I can call my own. I might be young, but I'm ready to fall in love. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Now, Todd, make yourself count. The next 10 years depends on the next 10 minutes. Have you filled out your census paperwork?
I have. I did mine online.
You did? I did not.
My census 2020. Yeah.
You know what? Carrie checked the mail. And when she checked the mail, like once you get the mail from the mailbox, it has to go into the quarantine zone. So the mail, I see it. It's on the steps. It's getting sprayed. It's already been sprayed with Lysol. Right. I think it's got to make its 2-day waiting period before it can come into the second floor chamber. Though. Nah, man. If it's been in the mailbox,
waiting for it to dry off.
It's got to dry, and then it's got to come up, and then it'll make it to chamber number 2. Right, and then it's like you gotta get up the steps. It probably will never make it up to the 3rd floor. But we got Andrea Zopp calling in at 8 o'clock to talk to us about the census. Did you know today is actually National Census Day?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Why you know that, man?
Oh, my wife does census stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
She tells me all the time.
She passing out that money, man, because I'm seeing all these census people, everybody getting money. I was like, can I ask a question? How come everybody that I know that don't got this, like everybody that listen to this show got census money, and we ain't getting no census money? Like somebody should have said, you know, Maze and Todd, you guys are pretty vociferous. A lot of people, you're pretty influential. You get the hard to reach people. You know what though? I'm telling you that census. Oh, let me stop. It's okay. It's all right. Y'all gonna be talking about let me stop. It's okay. I ain't offended. I ain't gonna say nothing to it.
Well, I hear Kurt Summers is gonna tell us some things.
Hey man, shout out to Kurt Summers, who will be answering what's in it for you as it relates to the federal stimulus package. I'm gonna tell you what though. I tuned in to Kurt Summers on Dorothy Tillman's show, Coffee, Tea, and Conversation. First of all, can I send a shout out? I gotta send a shout out as well as could you please stop having good shows so I can sleep on Saturday? Because I say to myself on Saturday, I'm gonna sleep in, then I wake up, and then I just turn on Coffee, Tea, and a Conversation. I was like, I'm just let it lay in the back. Then the next thing I'll sit up. Then the next thing I done got up, I gotta go get me some coffee and listen. And now I'm having me some coffee and tea, and I'm having a conversation with the radio, with my cell phone, because I'm listening on iHeartRadio. Right. That Dorothy Tillman can get you riled up on a Saturday morning. I'm gonna tell you what though, Kurt Summers may have had the most comprehensive analysis of the federal stimulus package, former treasurer Kurt Summers, and how it can be used for black people. Now they saying what's in it for you. I want the answer, what's in it for the black people. So you all tune in today Todd, because he's going to be on from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on WVON. He'll be interviewed by Perry Small. But he will answer the question, what's in it for you, black people?
That's always an important question.
Yes, it is. All right, Todd. One of these days, we got calls. How many calls we got? Pick one. 3. Pick one. Who you want to take?
Let's go with number 2, Lewis.
Lewis! You're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. 4 blocks on lockdown. You agree or disagree?
Good morning, Maze. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, Lewis.
I disagree. My question is, this is my question. Where is the black alderman? Where is Jason Irvin and the Black Caucus? Where's the mayor at? Where's our state's attorney at? Where's Congressman Danny Davis at? Where's the legislator that lives over in that area? I don't know if that's LaShawn, LaFord, or whoever that is. They should be outraged, you know. These are our black spokespeople that's supposed to be speaking up for us. They're not standing up for us. So why is we still voting for these people?
Okay, Lewis, but who are they speaking up for? Because I will say this. I'll say that when I go to community meetings and CAPS meetings, it's not the drug dealers and the people that's doing the open air drug markets that are there. It's the people that live in the neighborhood that are coming complaining, saying what y'all gonna do about it. Yeah. I do believe that there is a unique opportunity to do some cleanup, but really, will that cleanup, remember, it's part of a strategic, and they didn't say a strategic public health plan. They said it's strategic and public health. Which, again, does that mean that they are, what's happening, what's the strategic and health plan for the people that are in Lower Wacker? Let's go to the phone lines. Todd, pick one.
Let's talk to Israel.
Israel! Is that Israel, my man?
Shalom, you brothers.
Shalom. You seem like you had a long night.
Not really.
Okay.
Well, look here. I agree as far as what's going on with putting other agendas here in Houston.
What's up, Jacob? Go ahead.
The governor made an addendum or whatever and said that nobody else, I can understand California and Washington. He didn't say New York, though. And then the cities that he said that can't come to Houston or to Texas, Chicago, Detroit, and Miami, and Atlanta. And something is fishy about that because he know that's where the realest brothers come from. But also the Todd, man. Certified was owned by a brother?
Yes, Certified was owned by a brother. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I remember going to Certified, right? And was Vito's part of Certified too? Remember Vito's?
I don't remember Vito's.
I remember Vito's. All right, you got another call up there, Todd.
Oh, I do. Let's get Rick.
Rick, you on the Talk Chicago. Oh, Ricky, you're so... Ricky? Ricky!
Well, even without Rick, we still have hope.
Hope!
ACLU to the rescue.
ACLU to the rescue. Let me ask a question, though. Do you think... Do the people who live in those open-air drug markets want ACLU to do it, or do you think they want the police to... Well, you think that could go to the point where they come back out?
I'm voting police.
So the people in the area... They love it. They like the police there, protect them and so forth. But again, this is a good crisis. ACLU is there for better or for worse. This is no different than, if you will, arresting black kids in the neighborhood. This is just another version of that. So,
thanks, Hope.
Hey, ACLU, they will be to the rescue within the week.
So, thank you.
You know, I told you I saw this in Jefferson Parish. That's the parish, which is basically a county, right next to Orleans Parish, New Orleans. And they had a stop point where you had to stop and... I didn't have a car, but you had to stop and say something to some officer who was standing there. I don't know what you had to do. Maybe it was just them trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Show us your papers. You'd be like, I'm not going over there.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't going. I'm just telling you. You know, if you see the police on the block, you turn. All right, how much time I got? Okay, let me take that last call.
That's it.
Oh, is that it? Mm-hmm. Zilcho, Zippo, no more calls? All right, Todd. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I was talking to one of my aldermanic friends, and he said that most of the people that run the dope spots, like on the west side, don't live in those neighborhoods anymore. They travel, they go live in places, and then they travel in and open up the spots. I'm saying
we
that
had some guys who used to sell off of Avalon Park, and then they all moved out in the south suburbs, but they still sold in Avalon Park.
That's because that's where the tip was, and they didn't want to get like You ever heard the 10 crackhead commandments? 10 crack commandments, not crackhead. 10 crack commandments. Never rest where you lay your, never sell where you rest your head at. So once you make enough money, then you keep the tip, but you move out to the suburbs so that when the people at the end of the night, you sleep in your nice neighborhood, and when the shooting go on, that's your workers. It's Talk Chicago 1690. You gotta learn about the game, dog. It's Talk Chicago. I teach.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice.
I got to teach Todd the game. Todd don't be knowing. Why you think all the biggest? Why you think all the Latino? Like there was a streak when all the biggest drug dealers were getting caught in Bolingbrook, right? Because Bolingbrook was right off of 55. The Mexicans were moving all of the Mexicans were operating, the cartels were operating the semis off of 55 because this was a hub. They had houses all out in Joliet, Plainfield, Bolingbrook, etc. And it was like every time you saw something, we just took 10 kilos or 20 or a truckload of cocaine to be right in Bolingbrook. We just arrested the chief of all of the vice lords, Bolingbrook, right? Because people would get and then once the south suburbs became the hood, right? Yeah. And people started fighting, then what you saw was the chiefs moved out of there and then moved further away to places like Bolingbrook and in those places where they were legitimate members of the community.
The Chiefs are always moving up in the world.
it's the game. It's just we blew our shot. I was asking how did we in Chicago lose control, and it was because we started that when the order went away, then people was they started robbing the Connect all the time, right? So people would be like, man, he got X number of hundreds of whatchamajigam. We just gonna take it from him, right? And so then people started looking for a whole new way a whole new distribution method, right? To get around. And so we became workers in a space where we used to own the whole marketplace. It's pretty crazy. It's just typical black stuff.
Yeah, that's a fire hazard. Huh? We're having that in front of the door. Oh, that's a fire hazard for her. My old health, part of our job in the General Superintendent's Office of General Services and Finances is safety. Mm-hmm. So you gotta look out for things like that. I used to play some basketball with some of the drug dealers.
Huh?
They play a lot of basketball.
Yeah, because they got a lot of time. They got people working. They got somebody working the jab, right? Once you get everything in, once everything is in, then you should pretty much be once you make the deal to connect, hopefully you got to a point where you ain't never even have to see it. So somebody go get it, they take it, they chop it, they bag it, they put it in packs. Then the person work at the tip. He get the pack workers, depending on how many pack workers you got. Your pack workers then go out and they sit on the tip, and then all the guys work off the pack. Then you handle the payroll, and then you got your shift. And then after you do your shift, you get your payroll, your payout, you make whatever you make off of every pack you sell. It's funny because it really is once you recognize it's people got shifts, they literally work hourly shifts, the whole thing. It's really an operation. The craziest part though is that
working at the Bisco.
People don't understand that for what you made standing on a jab all that time, you could make at a regular job and probably make more. But when you hand them out subsistent, you making $100 or $150 a day, and that $150 a day is so you can get you a fit, go buy you a bottle, and be able to kick it at the end of the day. Let me stop. I'm talking too much.
I don't know. I think people understand that. That's not anything we didn't understand.
The jab.
Cruise.
Todd and Sonia, you all have the camera. Go ahead, Todd.
I need one of them suits. Hey, back to Korean dramas. Man, those aren't too bad. I think actually I'd rather watch the Korean drama than
How much time I got, Sonia?
watch a one of these Korean boy pop bands that my daughter likes so much. After she watched enough of that stuff, like, okay, I don't want to hear any more interviews. I don't want to see any more dancing. We can all relate to a drama, though, even if it is in a different language. So I never got into those novellas. They're a little over the top. One of my favorite Chinese movies, I saw it with not subtitles, with English dub. But now it's on Netflix and it's in subtitles. And I just haven't been able to spend enough time to pay attention. Because that's the thing with subtitles, you gotta actually pay attention. You know, when you're listening, you can be doing something else over here and say, oh, wait a minute.
Hey, Negro.
Hey, niggerist. Why are you doing here so early, huh?
Hey, Todd.
It is 8.
Why don't you throw the shirt on for this segment?
Well, Todd, I'll tell you why. Never give a Negro an opportunity to say no, right?
You said, well, Todd, I'll tell you why. That was a great response.
Perry, Maze Jackson or Todd Stroger?
Todd. Why do you have to ask?
Perry's got a double shift today. She's working today.
Oh, fuck.
I may have been wrong about that. That medium was a little large.
So I hope she got something to say, man.
National Census Day.
I got you. It's National Census Day. What does that mean for 20 minutes? It's like, man.
It means that they're
So I'm saying,
they're
as long as
playing a lot of commercials on this station.
I'm saying, so did we have anything? So do we have stuff to talk about?
She'll lead on
Okay,
the
I was wrong
conversation,
about
man.
that medium looking like a large.
I tried to tell you.
It's like, come on, man. It's like so we got to do some prep for it.
Right.
It's like you can't just be like, just go do it, and they paying a whole bunch of commercials. I want to do a good job.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Know what to ask about.
Right. That's not cool.
Sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? I'm talking about my girl, my girl.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. But Todd, you know how we do at the top of the hour. Got to say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Jennifer Thompson in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. And Todd, on the live line.
Maze, I'm wearing my younger brother's shirt.
You're wearing your younger brother's shirt. It says...
You see my muscles.
It's your muscles. Is that what you're calling it? It says, well, Todd, you are making yourself count. That's right. Did you realize, Todd, the next 10 years depends on the next 10 minutes. So I got to ask, you know what? So right now on the live line, we have with us Miss Andrea Zopp, and she is coordinating the U.S. Census here in Illinois today. Welcome to the WVON Morning Show, Andrea. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks, Maze. Hi, Maze. How are you? Good morning, Todd. How are you both today?
Great. So I was informed that today, April 1st, 2020, is National Census Day. So talk to us. What does that mean?
So what it means is this is the 2020 is our 10-year census. We do it every year. We try and count all Americans. It's really important to the city, and it's particularly important to the African American community because it governs
funding dollars for programs like job training and housing. It matters for our representation in Congress. And for example, just for the city alone, if we lose $1,400 a year in federal funding for every resident that we don't count. And the African American community typically gets undercounted, and so we are working hard to make sure that every Chicagoan gets counted. And I happen and have the privilege of serving as one of the co-chairs of the city's Complete Count Committee, along with Rick Estrada from Metropolitan Family Services and Rebecca Shee from the Immigrant and Business, or the Illinois Business Immigration Coalition. So it's a real privilege, and it's so important that everyone fill out their forms today if they haven't already filled them out.
Now, Andrea, tell us where, because, I got an envelope, but it's in quarantine right now. I see it in my house, and it's in quarantine. It's a white envelope. It says U.S. Census, and it's got blue inside. Now, I looked at that blue, and I thought, ooh, that might be a check. But really what it is it really is a check, though. If you think about it, it is a check to the state of Illinois when it comes to the resources that we need. But you said that came in the mail, but tell me how people can fill out, how else can they participate in the census? Because some people don't even check the mail.
Right. You don't have to have the envelope to fill out the form. You go online. You go online at my2020census.gov. And then you can fill out the form online. You can also fill out the form by the phone, and the phone number is, I'm going to give it out, 844-330-2020. Say that one more time, 844-330-2020. And you can just spend 10 minutes on the phone. Everybody has a cell phone. You can spend 10 minutes on the phone and just answer the census on there. So it's my2020census.gov or 844-330-2020. And maybe you guys will post that on your Facebook page, that information, so people can get it if they didn't have a pen with them.
Okay, so let me ask a question, Andrea. Tell us, I've seen so many people, there's so many people doing all types of census activities. I've seen everything from radio shows to barbecues to DJs. Talk to me about what kind of activities what type of activities you all are doing to encourage people to get counted.
Well, we've been doing a lot. First of all, people should know that the Census Bureau has, and the city funded, the state and the city and the county all funded not-for-profits in the community to talk to people about the census, because so a lot of people don't know or don't remember. And so we have a lot of not-for-profits in the community-based organizations who are talking to people and engaging people around the census. And so that's happening. The business community has really stepped up. We just sent out letters to them, and the business companies are sending out communications to their employees to encourage them to sign up for the census. FCB, which is an advertising agent in town, has put together a campaign for us. So you probably have seen that around that says "Be Counted" and reminds people why it is so important to be counted. ABC7 is doing a lot of media for us. And Uber gave $100,000 to the city to help us fund some of these agencies. And so across the city, companies, businesses, big and small, are talking to their employees and reminding people in their network to fill out this form. It is so important, and I cannot stress for Black people, because Maze, you always ask what's in it for Black people, so I'm going to answer that question for you. What is in it for Black people is that we are often undercounted. We have traditionally not been represented in this count, and we need to step up so that we can get for our community our fair share of the federal dollars that our tax dollars go to fund. And so that's what's in it for the Black community. If you don't go and fill out the form either on phone or online, then you're not counted. And if you're not counted, we don't get represented.
Todd?
Yes. So every person is worth a certain amount of money, which I can't remember at the moment. But
$1,400, okay. $1,400.
Hey, and that's a big chunk of money, and we literally are like I can't remember the exact number. I think it might be 45,000 people away from just falling off and losing a congressman. But if I remember correctly, we also are going to have, after this isolation is over, we're going to have people going to the harder to reach areas to knock on doors and encourage people. But we can also, as just regular citizens, call our friends and family and say, hey man, you need to fill this out. This is going to be really important.
Right. If you just say, if you post online, say, I'm going to fill out my form today, you should do it too. It's important. People, we listen to each other. That's what our social networks, we use them for fun, and we use them to send, to humor each other and keep each other uplifted, but we can also use them to drive change. And I cannot stress enough how important it is for us, everyone, to fill out this form. And it is very easy. Just have to fill it out for everybody in your household, everyone, including all your children and your babies. They all get counted too. And so it takes less than 10 minutes. And I don't have enough adjectives and emojis to tell you how important this is for us to fill out these forms. So I appreciate you all taking the time this morning and your focus on it. I've heard a number of ads on VON all the time for the census, and I just hope people are listening. And they have time. You're home now. You got your computers. You got your phones. My 2020 census.gov. It'll take less than 10 minutes.
No, and we can't forget that children count. Just because they're little and they don't actually work.
Yes.
They take a lot of resources.
Right. Everybody in your household should get counted, even if they're not related to you. So you're filling out the form, you're filling it out for your household. Everybody in the house gets counted. Old, young, babies, children, everybody gets counted.
My cat Zuki?
Yeah, not your cat.
Oh, darn.
Not your cat. You don't get to count your cats. That would up my numbers significantly as well. So no cats. And that's one other thing I just want people to know, because I know sometimes people are worried when they fill out a form, particularly for the government. By law, by statute, this information can only be used to count. It doesn't go anywhere else. Nobody else in the government sees it. So your personal information is not going anywhere. There's not going on a list. It doesn't happen. And that's by law. The purpose of filling out these forms and filling out the census forms is for the count and for the count only. And so I want people to know their information will be protected when they go online and they don't have to worry.
Tell me, I've heard like people like ABC and Footcomb Building, etc. Who are some of the black companies that have gotten money to do the outreach for particularly this, what they typically call the hard to reach communities, which often includes us black folks?
Right. So a lot of the not-for-profit communities and the African American communities, the Urban League's been very involved in the effort. So it's mostly been not-for-profits, but it's also been advertising. So we've done some advertising on VOM. We're doing some advertising on some of the other radio stations. And so, but it's mostly been with the not-for-profits that are working in the community, in our community.
Now, let me ask again, and if people are interested in trying to fill out, let me back up, not if they're interested, because everybody needs to fill out your census. It is important. We talk about the count. I think when you think about it, and it's going to be realistic, guys, these are the numbers that they use to make the legislative maps. One of the biggest things that is going to come up in the next year is the remap, and it is done off of these numbers. Will there be more black representation? Will there be less black representation? And should we be losing, or should the green team be losing? I think all of these things are part of what is determined by the census. Andrea, can you please remind people one more time where they need to go to fill out the information? Are there social graphics that you all have out that can be shared so that people can do? What can they do to do their part if they want to do more than just fill out the census?
So a couple things. So the place to go to fill out the census is my2020census.gov. My2020census.gov. And the other thing is that the census has been hiring for part-time jobs for people to help in this effort, and they still are hiring, and you can apply at that site. There's a site, a place to go for jobs. So that's one. And then if you're interested in downloading some of the graphics that we provide or some of the materials, they're available on the city's website, census website. And if you just put in Chicago Complete Count, you will get in Google, or the city site will come up, and you can download some of the screenshots and materials if you want to up your graphic game.
All right.
Well,
go ahead.
Let me just give the number one more time, too. And if you want to call, the number is 844-330-2020. 844-330-2020 or online my2020census.gov.
Andrea, is there anything you think that we need to make sure that we did not cover while we had in this moment that we need to let people know?
The main thing is, Maze, is really what we've just talked about. Please just take the time to do it. It is so important for our city, and it is so important for the Black community that we get counted. And the only way that happens is if people take the time and go on and fill out the form.
Hey, y'all.
So,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's the main message I want to deliver today, and I can't thank you and Todd enough for making time for me this morning.
Oh, you know what? It is always a pleasure to have you. You know, when the boss lady say what it is what it is. We don't like and let me be clear. We 100% think that the census is important, but this has become one of the driving motivators for the boss lady, Melody Spann Cooper, and ensuring that we get counted and really changing the narrative, because everything seems to always be about the great reverse migration. Well, you know what? Cook County is still the largest Black county in the country, and we are not. You all listen to the morning show, and I just broke down the election results and where we sit in those election results. We can be marginalized in this next decade, or we can claim our rightful space at the table. But realize that the next 10 years will depend on the next 10 minutes. So go to census2020.chicago.gov and make yourself count. Andrea, has been great talking to you. We look forward to talking to you again. I'm sure that this is not the last we will hear about the census.
All right. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, Todd. It looks like it's about time to wrap it up. You filled out your census. I'm gonna have to take mine out of quarantine.
That's right. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, so we got to get out of here a little bit early. But you know what, Todd? I think that one of the things that I did not get to today really was, how do we get better out of this? I feel like I was a little distracted during that time, but I want to figure out, how do we get better as Black folks? Like, coming out of this, are we going to be better for each other, worse for each other, or are we going to not do anything? I know we all Netflixing and watching TV and, we cleaning houses, but I was just thinking, like, I've watched, you mentioned Matt O'Shea in the 19th Ward. He has been marshaling resources. People are dropping off. They are building. What has been the Black response plan? Right? We know there's a Jewish Defense League. There's a Jewish Defense Fund. I mean, we got a lot of organizations. But right now is the time when all those organizations, all those nonprofits, all of those people, if the government don't get no if you don't get no government stimulus, what happens? What has been our plan to make ourselves better? Right? Remember I told you I was in the grocery store and I saw people that I didn't necessarily agree with? Right?
Yeah.
But I made a conscious choice not to turn it into something.
Right.
Right? Because we got to get better out of this. It's like you looking around and there is no Calvary, y'all. There is no Calvary. We got people on TV telling us they not going to do it right. The Nation of Islam called up yesterday, said we buying tons of masks and we getting our own ventilators. What's the Black hospital? Where's the Black people? Where's the Black people plan? What happens if we got the wrong shipment of face masks in our community? What we doing for ourselves? Or we still looking for somebody to blame? Hey, y'all, it's Talk Chicago 1690. So for Jennifer Thompson in the newsroom, for Sonia Escobar, the musical conductor of the Soul Plane, for my co-host Todd Stroger, I am the host of the WVON Morning Show, asking the question every day, what's in it for the Black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
That was offensive.
There's a griffin on there.
On where?
That's artwork.
Where?
That one right there. That one right there in front of you.
What are you talking about? What are you pointing to?
Maybe you can't see it because of the angle. Oh yeah, there's artwork right here. Somebody drew something, which is kind of incredible, but you can't see it because of the angle. That's the kind of stuff I could never do.
All right, y'all. We out here. Peace.